Thought that I was changing you. I can't believe I faced you. You know your mama ain't raised you like that. Look at your behavior. That's what she is ashamed of your dad.
Hey y'all. So welcome back to another episode of The Young
and the Wise.
Of course, you have your girl Nina Simone,
Felicia Jordan.
All right. And we are the mother-daughter duo, okay? Today we are coming to discuss dating then versus now.
Ooh, Lord Jesus.
But before we even get into the thick of things, okay, we're going to do a little icebreaker real quick. Probably like two questions each. So the rule of the game is, would you date them? Right? Or not the rule, that's the name of the game. It's called Would You Date Them? The rules are, we each have to ask each other, basically paint a scenario of a guy that we would hypothetically date, and either we would say yes or no. Now, she's a married woman, so of course this is very hypothetical for her, but it's going to be something like fun to break the ice.
Break the ice, baby.
All right, so I'm going to go first.
Okay,
so say there's a man, he's 10 years younger than you, but he has the job, he has the ambition, he has his own house, and he pours into your vision. Would you date him?
I don't know. It depends on his mental, actually. Because he can have all those things, but not mentally be able to be ready for my age, you know, because there's a lot of give and take when you take ages like that. So I have some wisdom that he doesn't.
Yeah.
He has something, you know, things that he does that I'm probably far away from now by that age. So
yeah.
It would all depends on his mentality, where his set is, because we're each getting older.
Yeah.
So that 10-year gap makes a difference. Physically, everything.
Yeah.
So it's his mindset, what he loves about me. Because if it's physical, then no, I can't date you.
Yeah.
You know, but if you love me genuinely for who I am, the person I am inside, what I bring to the table, then that's something that back in the day I probably would have considered. But probably now, with the way the world is now, baby, I wouldn't even give it no, ma'am. I introduced to my daughter, to my niece, but somebody, and maybe my nephew if you like that type. But no, I don't think that I'll be able to do it now. But as thinking back in the day, it would all depends on their mental state and where they're at mentally, not just financially and all those things.
Yeah, and you said something real quick. You said maybe even to my nephew if you're that type, because you know nowadays we don't know with these men if they're straight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or like to explore. That is something that, yeah.
And that's their preference, you know? So that's what I'm saying. But now, if you're 10 years younger, I wouldn't even touch you.
Period. So it'd be a no.
It'd be a no. Okay. Because we're in a superficial world now. It's so different.
Yeah, period. All right, you got one for me? A description?
Yes. Let me ask you this question. Okay. Would you date a guy that worked at McDonald's? And he had 2 jobs.
2 jobs.
He works at McDonald's and he has a part-time at Burger King.
Ooh. Okay. You know, yeah, I'm going to say yes, but it comes with some stipulations. So I'm going to say yes because if I don't want a man that don't work, period. Like if you're not working, we're not going to work. It's just going to be a no. But working at McDonald's and part-time at Burger King, I think I could deal with it if he has ambition. So if he just doesn't want to stick to McDonald's and Burger King, then yeah, and he wants to go somewhere further than that. If that's what we call it, building block.
Right.
If that's a building block, yes. But if he's content with where he's at, then no. I couldn't do it. If he's like content with, yeah, I'm going to work here for the rest of my life.
Right.
That's not going to work for me.
Right.
You know, because I see the potential in you, and you could go so much further than this. And this has nothing against people that work at McDonald's or Burger King. I just think that there's more out there. You know what I'm saying? So why not explore it while you're still building yourself up? Explore other things so that way when it's time to move forward and elevate, it's time to go.
Well, I like to hear that because in this day and age, most people will not.
Yeah, no, some people, no, they wouldn't.
Most people will not. So glad to hear that. Okay.
Period.
What question you have for me?
Okay, one more. We're going to do one more each. Okay, so let's see. I have one written down. They always bring flowers and open doors for you, but insist on choosing where you eat every time.
Would I date him?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Because you want to choose where you eat sometimes.
I want to choose sometimes. And that means that if you're choosing where I'm going to eat at all the time, there's other areas in my life that you're going to want to try to tell me what to do all the time.
It gives control.
Control. So, no, we have to meet each other. You know, I may want to go to McDonald's one day. I don't know what it is about McDonald's, honey, but I want this McDonald's thing. But
no, for real.
I may want to go to Chick-fil-A. You know, we got to meet each other halfway. You know, you may want to go to Red Lobster all the time. I may not want to eat there. So it's compromising. So
just because you open the door and bring me flowers.
And if you're hard and you are so controlling, where you control where I eat, there's a lot of areas in my life that you're going to try to control.
That's kind of scary.
And yes, no. Yeah. So no, I wouldn't.
Okay.
But thanks for the flowers.
And opening my door. Okay, you got any more for me? Can you think of anything?
Okay.
We did the man that works at McDonald's and Burger King. I'm trying to think.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
With you being a Christian, what if you had this guy you met? He had everything, the money, the job. No, let me actually change the question, as a matter of fact. Okay? You're dating a guy.
I'm already dating.
You're already dating this guy. I want to take it another level.
Okay.
You're already dating a guy, right? You all are deciding, okay, it looks like we want to be together. We want to get married. This guy's on top of the world at the time. Has a great job. Has his own home. Has cars. Has everything you need materialistic wise. Has everything to offer. And you love him. He's a good guy. Okay? And he loves you. But in the midst of that, he lost everything. He lost his job because he owns his own law firm or whatever. But he lost his job. And so everything that he had gained, he lost.
So are you asking, would I leave him?
Would you stay? Or would you go?
You know, I love him. So I'm going to say yes if I love him. But the love has to be unconditional.
Right.
So there can't be any, in those type of situations, there cannot be any conditions. So if he loses everything, am I going to stay with him? Yeah, I'm going to say yeah. Again, though, but I think it does still have a condition, because if you lose everything, are you going to let that keep you there?
Right.
Or are we going to go ahead and we got some work to do?
But your initial answer saying yes was great.
Okay.
Because the world we're in now, it's no longer like that.
Yeah, there's women that leave just because.
And not just women.
Not
just
women
me.
too. Yeah.
They leave for sicknesses. They leave for loss of money. They leave for a lot of reasons.
Like people that get paralyzed. People, somebody leaves their partner because that's. Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
You saying that you would stay, that's great. And then a lot of your staying too, it also depends on that individual, because their mental state. Because when you go from that, then you go to nothing. Maybe you don't know how to accept that, and you push away the person that's there to try to help you.
Yeah.
So
true.
But saying the initial yes,
I know you would say if that was dad.
I'm gonna ride or die, baby.
Period.
We're gonna ride together. We're gonna sit in front. You put us at our house. We're gonna sit on the couch together. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get up.
And same thing for him. He would do the same.
He'd do the same for us.
Yeah.
I already know. Same for me. Been there, done that. Had some situations where we ride or die.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between dating now, and being married now, versus
back when. So, with that being said, you guys, we gonna jump right into it, because that was a great segue into what we finna discuss. Okay.
Let's go.
So, we're gonna set the scene. So we're gonna dating in different eras. Let's talk about that. So I want you to share first what dating looked like for you back then.
Dating for us, first of all, you had to meet our dads. I mean, this picking people up, meeting people places, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It didn't fly. I mean, if you did, you had to sneak into it.
Dang.
And everybody knew your parents. So they'd be like, girl, I seen Felicia over there on 38th Street. Here it is, you think you sneak in. But back in the day, in order for a guy to take you out, he had to know your parents. He had to meet your parents. It was just a must.
That's crazy.
And you had to date. The dating scene, we went out on dates. We went out to eat. We went to movies. We did all these things. Like now, I guess so many of the younger kids in our generation now have their own apartments. So, baby, you meet somebody, and the second night, y'all staying on night with each other. Like, you know, it's just so different. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, with that being said, though, because I think that starts in college. You know, the dorms now.
That changed a lot of things.
You know what I'm saying? It's co-ed.
Yes.
Did y'all have co-ed?
We did. We didn't have a lot of co-eds when we were growing up. But you know what? We would sneak sometimes to stay in each other's room. I mean, I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the first night I met your dad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It wasn't a week after I met your dad. You know, it was your dad met my dad. My dad met Sparty, met your dad.
Yeah, right.
He stayed at the house with us several times. You know, so we knew each other.
Yeah.
We knew each other's families. We knew all about each other. A lot of times now, y'all don't know people's last name. If I asked you, what's his last name? Oh, you know what? I don't know. You got to go look at Instagram or Facebook and try to figure out if you can find her last name.
That is crazy. Yeah.
You know, so it's just really, it's different. I just think that back then we dated. Mm-hmm. Now you all don't. So that's why a lot of relationships don't last anymore, because you all don't know each other. And everything is more of a physical attraction first. Mm-hmm. And I get that. You know, you do really have to be physically attracted sometimes to the person. But you have to also give a person a chance. You want to get to know them first. You know, and
just because they look good.
Just because they look good, baby. A lot of them are crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, and not saying that all of them are. Yeah, I'm just saying, but you know, there's backgrounds and reasons why certain people are certain ways. So, I just think that that's the biggest thing. We've lost meeting parents, you know, we've lost dating.
So, okay, I know you said you met Dad the first day on campus, right? So he had already kind of met Papa.
He met my dad the first day. Because he was over there trying to flirt and meet other girls. So he was offering to take bags up for people. My dad told me, yeah, man, come on. And I'm looking at my dad like,
no, we don't need his help. Yeah.
You know,
but when y'all did finally connect, right? You finally ended up giving him that chance. What did that look like for y'all? What was that dating process like? How long did it take you guys to like stay with each other, like spend the night, boom, boom, boom?
Well, actually,
did y'all go on dates?
When I first met your dad, he wasn't my type.
Okay, you did say that.
Yeah. He wasn't the type that I would have actually just initially dated, to be honest. But his conversation,
period.
That's where I say you can't be so vain that you miss your blessing. Because I would have if I would have been just off of a certain look that I like.
Yeah.
You know, and when I first initially met him, I'm like, he's not my type. You know, I really wasn't paying attention to him. But one day God stopped me and I talked to him. And after I talked to him, I was like, this dude here.
He got substance.
It's a connection.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was more than just physical.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why we're still together after 30-some years.
Yeah.
Because it was more than just the physical. It was the conversation, the ability to be able to listen.
And y'all talked, and did y'all... Well, I know finances were different back then too. So y'all didn't go on dates and stuff.
Baby,
right?
we go and buy. Let me tell you, we walk up to the gas station, and they had this place where you can buy the potato wedges, $3-4. We would throw us about $5 together. We'd go up there and get us about $5 worth of potato wedges, honey, and walk on back to the dorm. Or either
that's a date.
That's a date. And I even thought I was so special, honey. I couldn't even really cook. I would have got some noodles.
Period.
I got down in our little kitchen. Made some little noodles, honey, and invited him over. I know this nasty. He probably was like, oh, Lord, but it was the thought. But, you know, it was little things like that. We may go to the pizza place. We had Shadrach, who was his roommate. He gave us $10 one time. Back then, you can go buy your pizza. You go get us a pizza, sit right there in the little pizza diner little area, because you can go and sit in back then. And we would eat. But we didn't have the opportunities to do a lot of what you all could do now. We didn't have the money to just really eat out. So you had to find ways to date. To actually date each other. And it was without money in most cases.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
I can't even imagine, honestly.
It was without really having money to be able to afford to go to all these places and do all these things.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. Okay. And how long, so spending the night with each other, that took a while, right?
That took a while. Now, he stayed at my home because when my dad would come pick me up from school on weekends, he would allow Sparty to come with us.
Oh, okay.
So you'd be like, y'all stay in one room, girl. We'd be in a room talking. It'd be midnight. You know, you'd be fell asleep. We'd jump up. Oh my God, you're not supposed to be in this room.
Yeah.
And he'd jump up, run to the other room. So we stayed the night that way, but it was with our parents being around.
Right.
Now, after we dated for a while, he'd sneak over to my dorm room and stay in there with me. And I had a roommate. And Steph would be over there. Yeah, she'd be over there snoring.
Yeah.
But she was so used to it. She'd be like, come on, it's fine. And he'd get in there in the bed with me. And then Shadrach was his roommate. I'd go in there and stay with them sometime. Okay. You know. But
it
we
took a
knew,
while.
oh yes. Yeah. We knew each other very, very well before all that stuff started happening.
See, okay. So, on that note, I'm going to say my perspective.
Okay.
Dating now.
Okay.
Okay. So, what does dating look like now? In my experience, like she said, dating looks more like, let's link up. Okay, what does link up mean? Come to my house. We ain't even met each other yet. We might have texted for a couple days. You know what I'm saying? Texted for a couple days, maybe FaceTime, if that. Because now, a lot of, again, men in this is me. I'm not talking about every woman out here, but in my experience, the men don't like to get on the phone.
Right.
They don't like to talk. They don't like to really just kind of get to, they'd rather see you in person, which is what I like. I do like that they'd rather connect with you in person. But it's come to my house, you know, like, let's chill. No, I want to be picked up. I want to be, open the door for me. Let's go on this date. Take me out to eat, you know, to the movies, whatever. But dating doesn't look like that for us now.
No, it doesn't, because y'all live it through social media and so everybody now wants to text. You can't fully and really get to know people versus off texting. That's lazy.
That's
so
lazy.
What it is lazy. It's no work. It's easy just to say, hey, how you doing?
Yes.
What's up? Boom, and you're done. And you can do that with multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, so social media has just opened up a microwave oven generation with you all.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
I agree.
They have so much to choose from.
Too much access.
Right. So for you, you know, you want to be that type where I want to talk to someone. I want you to pick up the phone. I want you to call me. But there's the other girl that she's okay with text.
Yeah, she's
okay with you just texting her.
So they looking like, why I got to do this?
Why do you have to put this work in?
When there's somebody else that don't even require me to do half of what you asking for.
Right, right.
That's insane.
But then it's what you want. It's your value.
Yeah.
What do you want? What are you looking for in a woman? You know what I'm saying? I want somebody that's going to take the effort to pick up the phone, call me. If we're in a 24-hour day, if you can just take 5 minutes out of your schedule, even if it's before you go to bed at night, just say, hey, just making sure you had a good day, checking in on you, boom. That's what you want. You want a man, because marriage and relationships is work. Yeah. And if you can't pick up the phone to call me
for 5 minutes, 2 minutes,
all you want to do is text me, then we won't make it in a relationship.
Nope. And this, again, the guys that I've talked to, gotten to know, they're not bad dudes at all by any means. But I will say that this has been the disconnect between me and them because of what I've been raised. You know, I've been raised this certain way. So my expectations and standards are going to be higher than most, you know, than people that may not have seen that. You know, I seen my dad give her the consistency and the effort, and my uncles give their my aunts consistency and effort, and you know what I'm saying? They talk about how their husbands or their men at the time were, you know, pouring into them in these type of ways. So for me, that's been my disconnect with men. Most of them, they say I'm asking for too much. Right. No, you're not settling. Yeah. And that's the problem with y'all generation now, girls and boys. It's so hard that you all are so willing to settle for really anything. You all are falling for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you just want a man to say you have somebody to date so bad that you're willing to bow down and give up your values for that. Yeah. And I always tell you, like, I don't blame the guys, because a lot of the guys were raised in homes with no mom, with no dads. Yeah. So, you know, they're single parents. You know, so they don't understand. A lot of them really understand how to be a man. Yeah. You know, and they're doing the best they can with the knowledge that they have. So I never really knocked a guy, but I don't want them to use that as a crutch. Yeah. To why they're like this. No, I didn't have my dad in the home. So no, I don't know what it's like to really just listen to everything you say, to meet you halfway all the time, and to, you know, not be so emotional. You know what I'm saying? And those are things that having a man in the house can teach you as a man how to be. Mom can't teach you that. Yeah.
So that's why I tell you, I don't blame the guys, but what I do blame is their willingness not to try to change.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want you to bow down, and I don't want these girls to bow down, and I don't want the boys to bow down. You know what you want, and you know what you expect. And if you got to go through a catalog to get that one, you go through that catalog. You don't bend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You meet them halfway, but if you're not good enough for them, and what you're asking for is too much work, then you're not the right guy for me.
Right. And I'm not the right woman for you.
Right. And that's okay.
Yeah. Because for the right one, I truly believe for the right one, you will.
You will.
You gonna do it.
Yeah.
If she asks you to call her one time a day to hear your voice before y'all go to sleep, you're going to do it.
Baby, he won't get off the phone with
you know,
she won't get off the phone with him.
Like, he, she, it doesn't matter. That goes both ways. So I guess this is advice for people out there that are dating now, men and women. You know what I'm saying? If somebody wants to, they will.
They will.
Point blank, period.
And you can't force them. And you don't continue to ask them. You know, so what I always tell her is, you say what you want. Once you say what you want, what you're looking for, they'll show you.
Just
who they
watch.
are.
Observe.
You observe. You don't have to keep asking. If I tell you that I want you to pick up the phone and call me, and you don't, I don't have to keep telling you that. If I do, then I'm not the person that you really want to be with. Because, baby, if you want to be with me, like she said, you're going to want to pick up that phone. You're going to want to hear my voice.
Yeah.
You're going to want to go somewhere. And it doesn't always have to be about money.
Nope.
We don't always have to go to restaurants. We don't have to go to movies. We can take a walk through the park. That's free. We can take a ride looking at Christmas lights.
Go
That's
sit
free.
by a waterfall or
you know,
something.
go sit. There's things that you can really do to connect with people. And I know a lot of times they use, I don't have the money. I don't have the time. You know, I got this. But then I see you on Instagram post a picture.
Like, come on now.
You know? Yeah. So, you know, I can't call you, but you're on Instagram liking photos, commenting on other people's stuff, but you can't call, you can't even text me to say, baby, how you doing?
Yeah.
So, no. At that point, guys.
And you know that's been a problem for me because, you know, I'll come and tell you, like, I even started questioning myself. I'm like, well, am I asking for too much? You know? We've had those discussions, and it's just like, you kind of reframed or my mind a little bit, because it's like, no, you're not.
No, you're not asking for too much. Mm-hmm. If picking up the phone is asking for too much, you can't be with that person.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you're looking for a long-term relationship, there's going to be a lot of things that happen. You know what I'm saying? There are going to be a lot of ups, a lot of downs, losses, all these things. You know what I'm saying? So you're not, if asking you to call me is too much,
we ain't gonna work.
We're not gonna work. We can just be friends, and that's okay.
And that's okay. Yeah. Okay.
We can stay friend zone.
Friend zone.
Friend zone.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Now we're gonna go into a story time. So let's see. Do you remember? Is there a memorable first date for you back then? Not even with dad. It don't have to be with dad, but just a memorable first date. What did that first date look like? And then I'm gonna tell mine. What my first date looked like.
Oh Lord, you know what? That's been 54. That's been 50, almost 50 some years ago. 40 some years rather.
If you can't remember, I can do mine first.
Yeah, you do yours.
Okay.
Let me think. Let me marinate on that.
Okay, memorable first date for me. What's the memorable one? I would say we went to. It's always going out to eat mostly. Mostly it's going out to eat, which is fine. Going out to eat, right? Went to a restaurant, brought flowers. That was nice. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much it. So I guess like I haven't had like a memorable, it ain't been nothing crazy, right? I think it's been normal. But how we got to that first date, I feel like I kind of had to ask for that first date. You know what I'm saying? And this was back in, I don't know, y'all. This was a while ago, actually. Maybe a few years ago. But I feel like I had to ask for this first date. And I'm like, is that normal for... We shouldn't have to ask to be taken on a date. Because at first, this person wanted me to come to their house. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no. Like, I want to get to know you. I want you to take me out. I want you to take me out. I feel like that shouldn't even count as a date.
Right.
Because I had to ask you for it.
Yeah.
That's what dating looks like in this generation.
And to be honest, I really don't have a first date that I could think about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really honestly don't.
Because y'all's dating was,
it was so different. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of y'all would think it was lame. So we don't really look at them like dates. We just look at hanging out, kicking it. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't have one that just
sticks out to you.
What sticks out to me was the first time I really talked to your dad. That conversation. That wasn't a date.
Okay, because I was just going to say, reflect on your emotions or excitement around that time. So whenever you first finally talked to dad, or what was it that, well, you said the conversation. How did that make you feel?
I was like, this dude here, I just felt I was comfortable for some reason.
Okay.
I felt a connection. I felt like, okay, so that I've never really felt with anybody before. Like this guy here. And then on top of that, honey, now look, he's Panamanian. So all his Panamanian brothers were around, they speaking that off the wall, Jamaican stuff too.
Yeah.
Baby, throw that in there. And then, he had the physique out this world because he was a football player. And baby, he was speaking all that stuff. But then it just breaking all that down together was like, wow.
So that's how you felt, like, wow.
Yeah, I left like, I hope he get in contact with me again. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking like, I really didn't like him at first. But I was thinking like, yeah, hopefully he would.
Okay, well, how did y'all get in contact? Oh, y'all had the phones. How did y'all were on campus?
We were on campus.
But my thing is, now that brings me to another point. So talking on the phone, what did that look like?
That we did.
Ugh.
We did because we didn't have the cell phones. So you either had to call at the dorm, and you could only use that just to say, I'm on my way. Where you at? Yeah, we didn't. We literally had to talk to each other, communicate face to face, hang it out. We didn't have access to the phones and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. We didn't have that. So when we were split up, he would go home for Christmas breaks and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. We just had the house phones where you run up the bill. So you really couldn't really talk that much. We didn't have emails. We didn't do all that kind of stuff. So our stuff was physical. It was actually communicating, being right in front of each other, talking.
Jeez. That's crazy. Because, like, I can't even imagine trying to build a relationship now without my phone.
And you can, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible because you did it. But I'm just like...
It's finding that person that wants to put this down and pick you up.
And come talk to me in person.
That wants to come pick you up. That wants to do this. And so... back when you were dating in college, a lot of times people would be like, her mom's grown. She all in her business. She all telling her, yes. You know what? My baby is 26 years old now. And I'm going to be in her business until God sends her husband. Because my husband and I did not raise her for 26 years to let a man come in, destroy her, take her confidence away. No, sir. Yeah. So if I got to be up in the business long enough to say, Lord, say, no, this is not the guy. That's where I'm going to be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we talk about this kind of stuff all the time. And I tell my daughter, look, and she be like, Mom, I'm grown. But I said, wisdom. Listen. Yeah. Listen to the things we're telling you. Listen to what we're telling you. We don't know everything. We're not perfect. My husband and I were dysfunctional. It had to be God that really kept us together. So I'm not saying like we had this perfect relationship. Yeah. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying that we did the things that it took to make it work because we wanted to. You know what I'm saying?
And you saw that with Granny and Papa.
I saw that with my parents. They fought to make their relationship work, And so I'm here as the mother of my daughter to make sure she has someone that's going to fight the same way that I seen my parents fight, that my husband and I are fighting, that my sister and brothers are fighting, that we're all fighting to make it. Yeah. Survive.
Yeah. That's true. So, okay, and then talking about Granny and Papa, were there any expectations? Did they have any influence on your dating life besides you seeing them work hard for that? You know what I'm saying? Did they kind of like have an expectation of a certain type of dude they wanted you with?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, my dad was, we hood. I mean, so we were raised in the hood, really.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry, y'all, we're back. So we were saying, was there a certain kind of dude that Granny and Papa kind of wanted you to date?
Yeah, my mom, everything's spiritual with her. So they were opposite of each other. So he was hood, she was, she was Christian. But no, not really. You know, my dad was willing to accept anybody because my mom gave him that chance as an educated woman. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have a college education, so she accepted him. So he was willing to accept anybody. But he saw you when you walked in.
He got a read on you.
He got a read on you. He will let you know. You know, he would let us know. His dude ain't about nothing.
And what would you do? Would y'all listen?
Oh yeah. I listen. You know, I listen. I listen to my dad. We used to have Sunday sit downs where he would sit down, get the girls, get the boys, we have our family sit down, and he'd break it down to us like it is.
Like a fraction.
Like a fraction. Broke it down, baby, from the dust to the dirt. He broke it down. So, no, he really didn't. You know.
Yeah.
He figured that he raised us. You know what I'm saying?
To make the right choices.
Yeah.
And learn.
And learn.
Yeah, okay. And I want to say the same thing here. Y'all don't really put me in a box when it comes to getting to know people. Now, there are certain ones, you know, in college that, you know, I might have kind of deterred from the sort of man.
Well, not really, because and we really don't. I just expected more from that individual because of age. You know what I'm saying? So if you come to me as a man and my husband and you say, I want to date your daughter, you know, and first of all, you're older than what we would ordinarily like for her to date.
Because I was 18. Yeah, there was like a 7-year difference.
So we put a little bit more pressure and expectation on you to make sure she's taken care of. So that was the only issue, you know, I had was the age. But I trusted that person because you were in a vulnerable state. You were by yourself, away from home for the first time. I was trusting that person to watch over you. You know what I'm saying? To be that shield that your dad and I normally would be. You know, and so that would have been the only time I really was at a point where like, no.
What about whenever I first got to college and I was talking to, I'm not going to say his name.
Okay.
But more of the hood dude.
They let you know that we really don't put you in a box.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They don't. Yeah.
We don't put you in a box because that.
How did you?
Most parents would have been like, especially raised like you were. Yeah. You know, if it was me, it was no big deal because I was raised in the hood. So for me, that's nothing.
That's true.
Your dad raised in the hood. It was nothing.
So but for us did you and Dad have a discussion
like that?
Did you and Dad talk about that whenever y'all saw who it was? Y'all was like, did that make y'all be like, ooh?
We was like, it's different.
Kind of shook a little bit.
Kind of shook. We just have to see how it works out.
That's hilarious.
Because it doesn't mean that because his outer appearance, he looked that way, that he really wasn't a good dude.
Yeah,
you know
I think he was. Just lost.
Just lost. Yeah.
Didn't have no guy.
Definitely different and out of the box. For sure. But I wouldn't have discounted him. You know, we were gonna give him a chance.
Because even in whenever I did start dating, even in high school, my senior year, you know, I won't say his name either, but even he was kind of like the hood, different. He was kind of hood,
it was different. Yeah.
So I was like, I wonder if that was a trend for me at the time, or like.
No, because in your world, you know, you have your mom and your dad, but you get the perspective from both. So you get that Christian, laid back, do what's right, because we were all raised that way. Yeah. But then on this side, you get your daddy, your pawpaw, you get Brandon Mound, you get Panamanian, you get all of that too. So I was
attracted to that.
So you were attracted to what your dad see. You know, you got somebody that's listening that can be soft, but then at the same time, he come out of the box and be like, wait a minute. Yeah. So that's what you're used to, and so that's what you're attracted to.
That makes
sense. You see that, and you were raised in that.
That makes sense.
On point. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Because sometimes, even now, I be thinking back, like, was I, you know, like, what was that? And, you know, I just question myself, like, wow, how did I go from seeing my dad, but I guess it makes sense. Papa, my uncles, you know what I'm saying? They all got the two sides to them.
Yeah.
So, I guess that does make sense. So, yeah, that's been... I guess that would be have been a challenge for me. I guess I was like not trying to disappoint my parents by who I was dating. But like I said, they never put me in a box. So I kind of just started not caring at some point. But that was always a little dating challenge for me. And then what's another dating challenge? The men that ghost you. I don't know if you've ever experienced ghosting. As a man, have you ever like started before that, getting to know a dude, and then all of a sudden they disappear?
Yeah, probably back in the day. And you know what? When they disappear, let them stay gone. They're ghosts for a reason.
Because that's when I wrote down. I was like, ghosting, and then I think another not a challenge for me, but I do think another challenge that people go through in our generation, because we have dating apps and stuff like that.
Yes.
I think that you can start to finally just get burnt out over dating at some point. I think that that's a huge thing. I know a lot of friends of mine, acquaintances, people that I know, they also participate in the dating apps, and they tell me that.
Yeah.
You know,
because you meet so many people, you know.
You finally get like, oh.
And that's why I tell you, I want you to protect your spirit.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't want to bring a lot of that aura into you. You know what I'm saying? Because it starts to weigh you down. When you're going through relationships, what you'll notice is that you're either going to conform to that person or that person's going to conform to you.
Yep.
So all your relationships, you have to be really careful, you know. And you always say a lot of times, like, I can't find the right person. I feel like I'm alone a lot. That's because God has you covered. Because you have a calling on your life.
And you're talking about just like with friends.
With friends.
Right? Yeah.
We're friends, with relationships, you know what I'm saying? So certain guys, God is not going to allow to stay around you.
Yeah.
You know,
For
because
sure.
he has a calling on your life, and because it's going to be harder for you.
Yeah.
Because he has a calling, he has something he wants you to do. And when God is involved, he's going to protect you, whether you see it or not, but you see it down the road, and you wonder, like, why are all these relationships not working out?
All these failed relationships.
And
I started questioning myself because of them.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you start looking at it, and then you go down the road and you see it was for my good.
Yeah. It's not happening. I had to change my mindset to, it's not happening to me, it's happening for me.
Right.
And once I started thinking like that, I was like, okay, that makes it a little easier to transition into, okay, spend this time alone. And then whoever.
And that's what I was just getting ready to say. My advice to y'all generation right now is being okay with being alone.
I do think that's another challenge for our generation.
It's okay not to be in a relationship. It's okay to have that season and that period where you're just working on you. Spiritually, mentally, financially, educationally, working on just building you up. If you sit back and just work on you, study you, get you right, God's going to send that person.
But again, we have so much access, so it's like when we're done with one person, we can easily be like, well, I'm going to start texting this.
But that's what y'all do.
That's it.
Yeah.
But that's the cycle, huh?
It's like pick up, put down. Pick up, put down. Right. You know, if you're really looking for something long term,
spend some time alone.
Spend some time alone. You can't get out of one relationship and jump into another the next day. And that's what we have. It's a lot of get to knowing. And you just talk, you're wasting time. That's why they're lasting a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah, man.
Because nobody's serious.
Yeah.
But if you just take the time out and say, you know what? I'm just going to work on me. All of a sudden, you'll be out somewhere, you'll run across that guy. Get off social media. Stop looking for your guys on social media. I know she fine. I know he fine. You know, stop looking for your mates on social media.
Yeah.
If you ask God, send me who my mate is. Send who's going to complete me.
And just be still.
Send me that God-fearing man, God-fearing woman that's going to be a good mother to my child, a good father to my child. Send me that person while I'm working on me. Now, you can't say I'm working on me and ask God to send it to you, but then you still going out looking for a 6'4" guy.
Yeah. Still talking to these different dudes.
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying? Basically wasting time.
Give him the chance to send that person to you.
Makes sense. All right. That's advice from the wisdom. Okay.
Yeah.
And we have a little bit more, not too much longer. We're not going to hold y'all too much longer, but do you know of any relationship red flags and green flags? I know. Okay, look. Relationship red flag number 1. Well, this is something that I've experienced. So, again, I'm speaking about me. Somebody, not a man, it can be a man or a woman, somebody that talks about themselves too much. Red flag.
Okay.
Do you have one?
Another red flag. If you meet somebody, and just because it's the first or second date or whatever, they don't want to meet your family. They don't want the family to know about you. They don't want to be around. Get away. Because anybody you date, they should want to know who they're connected to.
Yeah.
They want to know who you're connected to. So they should want to know, I want to meet your pops. I want to meet your mom and dad because I need to know what's going on. If there's some crazy stuff before I get too deep, I want to know soon. So if there's someone...
Like if they want to keep it a secret.
They want to keep it a secret. They don't want to meet your family. It's too soon. It's too early. They're not ready. They're not coming for the right reasons. Because if they really wanted to make it work with you, baby, that second day, they'll be like, I'll go meet moms and pops. And if it don't work, that don't mean it's my fault.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so watch that. If you got someone who's not interested in meeting your people quick and getting to know who you are, as far as family-wise, what your family dynamics are like, run.
Another one. Somebody who's irrational, who just goes and does not think. Red flag. Okay? They react out of emotion, which most of the time they're not making the most logical decision because they're not thinking. And then that can lead to other stuff too. If somebody's impulsive, that could lead to abuse. You just never know.
Yeah, you just never know.
Like that's something that I think men and women need to be wary of. That's a red flag for me. Mm-hmm. You got another one? Or no?
I'll probably say another red flag would be someone that's not willing to compromise. They want you to put in all the work and they do very little. So if you find someone that's always telling you what you need to do, but they're not willing to do it, they're not willing to bend, they're not willing to work, you're doing all the work, you're making all the connections, you're going out to their place all the time, you're the one meeting them, you're paying all the time, you're putting in all the effort, you'll see that quick. Run.
Honestly. Okay, green flags. I'm going to try to, green flag, I would say consistency. You got one?
Mm-hmm. I would say respect.
Okay. I guess this kind of ties into consistency. I would say effort, and not just for a certain period of time, effort that extends over the relationship. So not even in those times where you want to get lazy and you get comfortable with each other, you still making the effort to make it work. You're still making the effort to try to date each other even when you're deep into it. Still making the effort to try to get to learn each other even more. You can still learn something new from your partner 30-something years in.
Yeah. And I would
green
say
flag.
God-fearing man or woman.
Yeah. Green flag.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are some red flags, green flags for us. And let us know in the comments some red flags and green flags for you guys. We'd like to kind of hear what that looks like for everybody.
And like we're saying, nobody's perfect.
Nope.
I mean, even in relationships, my husband and I have been together 30 years. Nobody's perfect. You know, we're not saying that at all, but we are just kind of saying, from my standpoint, is that y'all generation are kind of settling a little bit. Get out of that. Know who you are. Stand on who you are. Stand firm in who you are and what you want. And don't bend. And be okay again with just being by yourself. Because if you're going to be with somebody and be stressed and depressed, you might as well take that time of being by yourself, recovering.
Yeah. Period. And I was about to just ask before we got off some advice for the listeners, but you just gave yours.
Yeah.
Advice for somebody that may be younger like me. I would just say, like she said, learn to spend time alone. That is something even I can get better at. So again, this is not just us being perfect people. You know, that's something that I can get better at as well. I would also say, just be open to like listening to the wisdom, even if like, you know, you might not take what they say and do it, but just be open to hearing what they have to say, because it might work. It might not though. You know what I'm saying? Each situation is different, but just being open to their perspective. And another thing of advice, do not take, I don't want to say it like this, but I'm going to say it. Do not take advice from your friends that aren't in a relationship. Because they don't know. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Don't take advice from a friend that hasn't even gotten past a year into a relationship. Yeah. In each of their relationships, they've never made it a year. Don't take advice from them. You know what I'm saying? And also, the last thing I would say is put social media down. I know a lot of our relationships are based off of what we see. Watching the big time stars, you're comparing what they're doing. Everybody that posts, they're not happy every day. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They have struggles. But you will look at that and you will assume that your relationship is not where it should be because you're looking at them smiling. You're looking at them laughing. You're looking at them look like the world. They're on top of the world. But baby, when that stuff shuts off from day to day, things change. Things that you all don't see in the background. So don't base your relationship off of social media. Put social media away, baby. Build your own thing. Build your own social media for your children, for generations to come. So your social media is what you build for yourself. Not what you see Snoop Diggity Dog, not what you see Beyonce and Jay-Z do.
Ice Cube.
Because they have issues too.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we've gotten so caught up in what we see that we're just settling and we're not happy because we're basing it all off social media. Get off social media. If you want to have a productive relationship, pick up your Bible. Pick up the Word. Put on some T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar. Put some of that stuff on and sit with your mate and watch these things. Go to church together. That's where you build. That's your social media. That's where you're going to build that foundation that you need.
And she said what she said.
And that's all I can do.
Period. Okay.
You know, so,
and on that note, I think we're good.
We're good.
I think we are good for today. We thank you guys for listening in once again and tuning into what we have to say. Again, we would love to hear some feedback in the comments and your perspective on certain things, whether you agree or disagree. We would love to hear it.
And we hope we help somebody. I mean, like I said, if you can just help one person, if you can just help one relationship, that's what it's all about. I'm not into doing all this. I'm doing this because my daughter wanted me to. She really asked me to do it. So I just want to see you all grow. I want to see people get better. I want to see relationships. I want to see us go back to that big mama, all the old school, so we can raise our children up the way they should. Because right now, if you all don't get it together, just think about
like
more than
kids.
just you.
Yeah,
so
kids.
when you all are thinking about relationships now, think that it's bigger than y'all.
Because
it's bigger than that because you have generations coming behind you.
And there it is, folks. That's all we have. And we will see y'all next week on another episode of The Young
and the Wise.
Later.
Love y'all.
Look at what you become. Matter of fact, what you've been. I was just like, I was just so in it. I was just so committed. No, I don't regret it. I learned what love is once I